So you want to make YouTube videos, or you want to make videos in general, but you don't really know where to start. Probably thinking, what camera do you need? Do I need a microphone? Do I need to have the latest, greatest stuff? Can I buy used stuff? Well, I'm here to answer all those questions for you right now. Not only am I going to answer them for you, but I'm going to tell you how I did it and how I wish I would have done it. Let's get into it. Number one thing is, I figured out a long time ago, it's way more important to finish and post your videos than it is to have the best color grade or the best gear or the best whatever. So that has got to be the number one thing, is your content. Make sure that you are actually finishing, starting your videos, and that you have great subject matter. You won't always have great subject matter. Sometimes you'll make a video and think that it's great and it won't do so well. And you know, maybe you'll be on the other side of it and you'll look at it and go, I don't know what I was thinking. That was not a good video to make. It happens. It happens a lot. Don't worry about it. All right. Just make sure the next time that you have some good subject matter and that you're actually making and producing and finishing the videos. If it's always just starting them and you're never finishing them because you got buttloads of color grading, or you're shooting in some weird like RAW or something like that for YouTube, that's all diminishing returns. Just get your videos done. That's the first thing I got to tell you, is if you're looking at YouTube, is just to make sure you get your videos done. And remember that no matter how well you produce something, if your subject matter is not good, people are probably going to click off of it. People come to YouTube to watch videos for content, to take something away from them, to learn something, for entertainment. And if you're not providing any of that, then they probably are going to leave. I've seen so many guys like in the Reddit forums wondering why their 3-month produced video that they threw every piece of gear they had at it didn't do but a few views. And that's usually why, is because they just didn't have a good subject to begin with. All right, next is your camera. When I started, I wished I had a really nice camera like a GH5, like I hear so many people say that they had. All I had was my iPhone, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I want to warn you about using your iPhone is, and what I ultimately found out and why I got away from it, is the logistics of it. Just needing to use it for light remotes and other things, because almost all things come with apps now instead of actual like hardwired remotes or IR remotes. They usually have apps. And the other thing was, there was always people calling. This was before you could, reduce interruptions and all that stuff. People were calling, texting, and all that stuff. And it just got to be a hassle. It was easier just to get a standalone camera. When I did, I think I got a Sony ZV-E10, whatever the little vlogging camera is they have. And I had that for a little while. That's still an okay camera. I mean, it's better than nothing. I've learned that I like to buy once, cry once, right? It's a good term. It's why they made it up. If I had to do it today, I would buy a Panasonic S9. It's a great camera. It looks like a pro camera. I'm actually filming on one right now. It's full frame. You can get a used one for around $1,000. And the best part is, if you're doing YouTube videos, you don't have to excuse me, you don't have to color grade them unless you want to. They have this thing called real-time LUT, where you can just burn in a look when you film. You don't need to do anything, maybe just a couple of tweaks when you get it into your editor, and you're good to go. And like I said earlier, getting your videos online is the absolute most important thing, is to keep on making videos. And the easier you can make that, the more of a chance you have of actually making the videos. When it becomes a real job to produce a video, you're not going to want to keep making videos. It'll slow you down. Keep that in mind. Get a camera that's easy for you to work, and one that doesn't require you to do a lot. Lots of cameras have a lot of features, and they're trying to shove them down our throat and all this other stuff. And all those things have their place, but YouTube has their own compression anyway. No matter how super duper sharp and colorful you make your video, they're going to zap it with their compression, and you're just going to get diminishing returns. No regular viewer is going to be able to tell that you did all that anyway. What really is going to matter is your subject matter. Just make sure you produce videos and keep them coming, keep the subject matter good, and just get a camera that's good enough. And the Lumix S9 is way more than good enough. It is a great camera. It's easy to use, and I really like it. Like I said, I'm using it right now. You can use your phone. Absolutely. If you can work around the things that I talked about, using your phone, if that's what you have right now, you don't need to go out and buy like some crazy camera. You can use your phone. Just be aware of the things that I said. It's definitely a good place to start. And in 2025, Most phones have absolutely amazing cameras. Lenses for the S9 are also relatively cheap. The kit lens that comes with the S9, if you choose to get it, is a really amazing lens. It's a 20-60. It'll cover most of the focal lengths that you're ever going to need. Also, if you want to go a different route, there are some third-party companies that make some really amazing lenses for really cheap. 7 Artisans makes some lenses. Makey is another company that makes some lenses, and I'm actually filming on a 35mm Makey lens right now that cost me $159, and I think it looks amazing. Honestly, for $159, you can't beat it. It's a great lens for YouTube. Cameras and lighting go together like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Like, they're just not as good when you don't have one without the other. Lighting is so important, and it took me a while to figure that out. I wish I'd learned it sooner. You've got to have some decent lighting. It doesn't take much either. It just depends on what you're doing. I have some really expensive lights, but a lot of times I find myself using a lot of these smaller lights. Like right now, I'm using this Aperture MC, and this is a fairly inexpensive light. It's about 50 bucks on sale. You can find it for that. I think I got it on woot.com, but you can also get it just like from Aperture or Amazon, but it's a little higher. It's probably about $90 or $100 or so. It's often on sale, so you don't really have to pay that. But it's just this little square LED panel. It's RGB. You can do a lot of stuff with it. It also has a phone application, and usually I just set this right on top of the camera and point it right at me. Right now, I'm also using a tube light, but I don't normally do that. I'm only doing that because I knew I was gonna have to move this to show it to you guys. It's just a great light. I try to keep it simple. Just stick a little table tripod on my desk, stick this on top of it, and I'm ready to go, just like this. And you can see that lights up the scene really, really well. I like to keep it easy because I want to encourage myself to make videos. If you make it really hard where you have to do a lot of stuff, you're not gonna wanna make videos. So just try to keep it easy. Always remember that the easier your workflow, the more of a chance you have of following through. And that's the main thing about YouTube, is following through. I can't stress that enough. Making a video, getting it posted, and doing it again. That's pretty much the whole YouTube game. If you want more expensive lights though, I do have some of those to suggest to you. This one by Newer is a 200 watt daylight light. It's a 5700 Kelvin light. And these fluctuate a lot too. Newer is one of those companies that a lot of times has stuff on sale, like constantly throughout the year. You can often find these for around $100. Off sale, they're about $150. But again, they fluctuate a lot, and I really can't tell why. If that's not good enough for you and you want like an RGB light, here's the same light in RGB. It runs around $150 to $200. When I bought it, it was closer to $150 because it was on sale, but I've seen it for as much as $200. And it's a great light. I don't use the RGB as much as I thought I would. And you really should think about if you're going to use it that much too. I know a lot of people want it, and I know that's probably the biggest craze with lights. They always come up with some reason to get you to buy more lights. And that's the thing now, is RGB, but I still like having it, just knowing that I could use it. So that's something to consider too. Which brings me to the next thing, is audio. It is so important to have good audio. You can have a terrible looking video with good audio, that'll do great. But if it has terrible audio, people will click off of it fast. It just sounds so bad, and it's hard to listen to anything that sounds bad. I wish that this was one that I would have learned a little sooner too. Just buy once, cry once, just get a good microphone. I've gone through many microphones. Unfortunately, one of them's pretty budget, but the other one's really not, but it's a great sounding microphone. What I'm using right now is a Sennheiser MKE600. That is a little bit of an expensive microphone for a beginner microphone, but here's the thing about it. If you buy one, you'll probably never buy another microphone again. I think it sounds really good. It's really even. And I wish that I would have just bought one to begin with, because I definitely spent more money trying to find cheaper alternatives. This is what you call an XLR mic. So you have to plug in this little 3-pin thing into the back of it. But the good thing about this one, if you choose to use it too, if you like the way it sounds, it has a compartment for a battery. You can put a battery in it, it'll power itself, and you can put an adapter on the back of it and plug it right into your camera. Or you can plug it into a recorder or a top handle if you want to be more professional. But I reckon if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering how to start. If you choose this mic, just get the adapter and plug it right into your camera. The other microphone that I would suggest, and you don't hear it a lot in this community, is a Shure 58. That microphone has been a staple in the music business for, I don't know, 50 years, a long time. There's been many hit songs and albums produced with that microphone. It's an amazing microphone, and it's extremely cheap. You can find them at pawn shops and online for as low as $50. It also is an XLR mic, but the good thing about it is it needs no power at all. You can just plug that adapter into it, and you can get those adapters for $5 or $10 on Amazon. There's a link to one in the description. You can plug that adapter in and just plug it right into your camera and you're good to go. You can hand hold it or you can put it on a stand. You don't need to worry about trying to get the microphones out of the shot and all that stuff. Most people expect you to have a microphone, even though I've got one right here above my head. All right. And that's how I mic myself up. But I used to wear lapel mics and do a bunch of other stuff. But this is actually the most easiest for me. Regardless of whatever kind of mic you choose, just get a mic. Like I said, it's better that you have one than don't. You can get them on eBay. I got the Sennheiser on eBay for actually half the price. And we're going to talk about buying stuff on eBay in just a minute. But I got it really inexpensive. You can find a lot of things though on Amazon and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be a Sennheiser. You can get a mic that costs $40 or $50, but just get some kind of mic that sounds good. One thing we talk about is how people get all this gear. It is expensive. Getting on YouTube, it makes it seem like you're less than if you cannot buy all the new cameras and all the new gear on the day it comes out. That is one thing I don't like about YouTube. I hate it that it's like that, and I'm guilty of pushing that kind of attitude myself. You do not have to buy the latest gear. You don't even have to buy new gear. You can buy it used. These guys who are buying that stuff, usually there's something else behind the scenes. Either they're making lots of YouTube money, and that's fine, or they have deals with the companies where they're long-term loaning them, or they're giving them gear that you don't know about behind the scenes, or something else is going on. They're financing it, or they're spending money they don't have. Something's going on. Nobody realistically can buy a new camera every week or every time one drops. So just keep that in mind. Not everything on YouTube, even though it's supposed to be, is disclosed. So don't feel less than because you can't buy new gear. Lots of old gear, last generation gear is still very usable. There hasn't been a camera that gets a bad looking image produced in the $1,000 to $3,000 range in a long time. Probably in the last 4 or 5 years, any camera from that era will get you a great image. A lot of the different price differences have to do with workflow and IO and things like that. But as far as image goes, we've kind of hit a plateau on imaging, and other than nuances and stuff where you have to zoom in really big, most cameras are going to get you a good image is what I'm saying. So don't feel bad if you got to go a couple of generations back to be able to get something you can afford. I mentioned the GH5. That's a great camera. You can find those used on MPB or KEH for $500, $600. There's lots of other cameras there too. Lots of Sonys, lots of Fujis, all that kind of stuff you can find there. It's perfectly fine to buy it. They have warranties. I've bought tons of stuff. I've never had any problems with any of the used stuff I bought. That doesn't mean it won't happen. Just buy from reliable sources and they'll take care of it. If you buy anything on eBay, just make sure that it's protected, which I think everything is now, and they will replace it. I haven't had any problems with that. Of course, you know, Amazon has used stuff on there too. I've gotten some really good deals with that. Woot.com is another place if you want to stay closer to kind of new stuff. But Facebook Marketplace is a good example. Be careful when you're meeting people though. Look at their profiles first and make sure that they are the kind of people you want to meet. OfferUp is another one. Just be careful for scams when you're on those two. But KEH and MPB are run by respectable businesses, and you should have no problem there. And you can save some money and get some gear that'll really, really improve your setup. That brings me to a tripod. One of the worst things you have to buy when you first start is a tripod. Sometimes it's hard to kind of wrap your head around why you need expensive tripods. You can kind of think of it this way. If you got a camera like I do, where some of them cost, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, you're not going to want to put that on a $20 tripod. When it does fall over, you will find out why. And trust me, it will fall over. Ask me how I know. It will fall over. You want to get a good tripod, but there are good tripods for under $100, and here is one of them. Here is Newer again to the rescue. They make lots of budget stuff. That's why a lot of times I go to them. But this tripod looks like it was made to kind of emulate a more expensive tripod, but it works. And the best part about it is, remember what you're shooting here, video. You can put your camera on a static head for static shots of like this, like this one, like a talking head. But when you go to shoot products and stuff, you're going to want to move the camera around. You may want like a sweep or a pan or something. Using this fluid head will let you get those in a professional way where they're smooth and clear. That's technique, and that will definitely make it better. A lot of people cannot tell the difference between, you know, a $1,000 camera and a $4,000 camera, but they definitely can tell when you have a shaky, crappy sweep or pan or something like that. Just don't do it. Remember, you're shooting video, get you a video tripod like this one. This one only runs around $90, and honestly, it could last you a long time. time. It's not the tripod that I use anymore. I did use it for a long time. Right now, I use a SmallRig AD100, and it's a great tripod. It's carbon fiber, and I really like it. Just to keep it 100, I can't see $300 difference between the SmallRig and the newer. The SmallRig cost around $400 new. The newer cost $100, and there's not $300 worth of difference between these two tripods. You could buy the newer, and it would probably last you for a very long time. I would definitely get this one again if I needed a tripod. It is a great value, and it will definitely get you some great shots. The last thing I want to talk about is like internet trolls. Like, you start your channel, you put up your first couple of videos, you finally get a comment, and it's somebody telling you that you suck. It's going to happen. People do that. I don't know why we live in the age where people just come to places and just say rude ass stuff. They weren't raised right. I don't know why they do it, but they do it, and they're not going to stop just because you made a YouTube channel. So you may have to end up shadow banning somebody. First thing though is to remember, not everybody's just making rude comments. Just because they don't agree with you does not mean they're rude. That doesn't mean you need to delete them or anything like that. A lot of times that stuff's engagement. Even if somebody is semi-rude, if you have an audience, a lot of times your audience will engage with that person and you don't have to say anything. And if you think about it, a lot of the big creators, that's what they do. You don't see like MKBHD or Linus Tech Tips policing their comment section. They leave all the comments there, at least that I can tell, and let people kind of fight it out amongst themselves. It's a good way to be. Now, of course, when you start, you don't want your only comments to be negative. So if you do have to shadow ban somebody, or maybe somebody's bullying another viewer and it's just gotten worse than you can stand, YouTube has a great option where you can just hide your channel from them. It doesn't really hide your channel, so I'm not sure why they call it that. What it does is when they see your content, which they still will, they'll watch it and they'll want to write something. They can type a comment, they can try to post it. It looks like it posted to them, but when they leave, it goes away. They feel like they did something, they will leave, patting themselves on the back. They never actually did anything. So I think that's a really great way to handle that kind of stuff, because it lets the person that's antagonizing you feel like they're still posting stuff, but it's never actually getting through. Just remember, all criticism isn't bad criticism. Some people feel like they know you enough to give you some criticism that you didn't ask for. They see you every day, maybe in your house or in your living room or something, and they develop these parasocial relationships. It's easy to, when you see somebody like that, and they feel like they know you well enough to give you advice that you didn't ask for. They're definitely out of their lane, but I don't think they're intentionally being rude. And if you're one of those people that likes to give YouTubers advice, don't do that, man. If you care enough about them and you really like the person and you felt like they said something wrong, send them a message. Don't correct people in public. It is very adversarial to do that. A lot of people don't like it. You know, as a man, it's easy to feel like somebody's challenging your authority or something like that, and doing it publicly just makes it worse. You know, if you want to handle somebody that you care about, right, just let them know behind closed doors that, hey, you may want to change that. Maybe you made a mistake or something like that. A lot of those people that are correcting you aren't right anyway. A good way to handle it is just to say thank you if you're the YouTuber, and just don't take their advice. Just say thanks and go on about your business. But those people don't really need to be blocked. They're probably fans. All right. They're just sometimes annoying fans. If you have anything you want to add about your journey as a YouTuber or your journey doing video, feel free to put that stuff in the comments. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm at, I think, 400 subscribers, which is amazing for the first month. It's crazy. I'm so super blessed to have that many, but YouTube won't pay me until I get 1,000. So that's where we're trying to get. Help a brother out. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this one. And YouTube's going to recommend this video right here. Go ahead and click that, and I'll see you over there.